Coach, thank you for joining us. Just as a college baseball junkie, really your whole life, are you excited for this time of the year to finally be here?
Yeah, man, it's the best time of the year. I mean, March Madness is great, college football playoffs great, but man, there's just nothing like these next 3 to 4 weeks in college baseball. You get 64 teams that are, laying it on the line and got a chance to play together one more time. So it's a heck of a time of year for our sport. It's a blast. It's so much fun. It's a lot, man. It's heartache. It's celebration. It's everything all rolled into one. But man, it's going to be a really fun next 3 or 4 weeks college baseball.
It really will be. And we're looking back now, the last, I guess, 15 weeks we've seen for this program since opening day. How do you feel like this team is now ready for this type of test they'll see this weekend based on what they've seen all throughout the year?
Yeah, man. I mean, we got three really good teams in this regional. Southern Miss, a very deserving host, and just an elite pitching staff. A team that when we played them early in the year, I mean, I think we kind of had a good time. They were coming off kind of a rough trip to Marshall, some crazy travel things, and I think we caught them at a good time. But have played just elite baseball down the stretch. Miami, who has shown you this year they can be as good as anybody in the country. Had a little bit of a slow start, then they played unbelievable for 4 or 5 straight weeks, and then kind of scuffled a little bit at the end, but had the star power, had the talent. And then you have a Columbia team, and you always see it, man. You always see those Ivy League teams. They handle the pressure good. They handle these situations good. You see them in regional finals a lot, and so it's going to be a really good test this weekend. I think the beauty is that's what our league prepares us for. I mean, it's week in, week out, elite arms, elite hitters, elite crowds. So you're as prepared as you can be walking into postseason baseball. The kids are battle tested. They're tough kids. They've been resilient all year long, and now it's basically a 4 game or 4 team playoff to see who gets to extend their season by 1 week. So you're going to get everybody's best effort down the stretch here, and like I said, it's just a heck of a fun time of the year, and I think our boys are ready.
Can you tell us about the work too the coaching staff has done getting ready for a weekend like this? You know your schedule well in advance of the season. You kind of track everybody from opening day on. But when you get the names called on Monday morning, how fast is your staff able to get some video together, some scouting reports, making sure you're good to go for this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of information, which is great. Obviously you have friends around college baseball that they're calling you from reports, you're calling them for reports just on what they've seen, and you're having phone conversations with them on, arms you may face, hitters you may face. How did you attack them? How did you have success against them? What does that look like? We have tons of resources here from just a video standpoint of just evaluation type stuff. So, it is kind of not that I want to play Southern Miss at all. They're a darn good ball club, but we have played them before, so there has been a little bit of legwork done already. It's going to be a little bit more refreshing the report on those guys. And then just diving into really Miami and in Southern or in forgive me, Columbia, just diving into them. So I really think you have to prepare and collect information, but you really can't get ahead of yourself. And I mean, every ounce since Monday for us has been preparing for Miami. Our practices this week, what we've hit off our machines, off stuff, everything has been preparing to go face a really good arm in Miami and what we're going to see there. So I think you got to just take it a game at a time in these things. I see it too many times where coaches either pitch off or coaches, look past it to that next game of what we got to do to win game two. Well, if you don't win game one, you don't get to game two. So for us, every ounce of our effort has been dedicated to Miami and making sure we're as prepared as we can be on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, taking it one game at a time, always important. And it can always be a crazy weekend, especially if you find yourself in the losers bracket, try to climb out in terms of pitching standpoint. Are you pretty comfortable with the health of this Alabama pitching staff, both starters and relievers, getting ready for what can be a crazy weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think as healthy as you can be. 16 weeks into a college season. Riley Quick, obviously not pitching in Hoover's as fresh as he can be, and he'll be ready to go. We threw some of our guys in some live hitters and some live sim game type stuff these last few days. We didn't do that with Osmer. We didn't do that with Braylon Myers. We didn't do that with Matt Heiberger. Some guys that we're going to lean really heavily on this weekend, knowing that they've thrown a ton this year, and we need them as fresh as possible. But got a lot of the other guys a touch. So yeah, I think we're knock on wood, we're as healthy as we can be coming into this thing, and you want to stay in Hoover as long as you can, man. You never want to get knocked out of that thing early, but but it did get us our bodies back underneath us a little bit, and you had some weird days of practice because you don't really know who you're preparing for last week. But our guys were pros about it, and they attacked it that way. And once we figured out, you kind of saw it in that video, man. We were heard our name called within the first 5 minutes of the selection show, and the boys were ready to go to practice. They didn't need to see anything else. So we got out there and got after it. But yeah, I feel good about where we're at as far as health goes, as far as freshness goes. I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah, does that video kind of show the mindset of this group? Whether you got to host in Tuscaloosa or you have to go to on the road, like a place like Hattiesburg, the objective for this weekend remains the same. The path forward remains the same. Is that really consistent with the mindset this group's had all year?
Yeah, I think that's really it. I mean, at the end of the day, we none of us set out to host a regional. None of us set out to host a super. All of us set out to be standing in Omaha the last 2 weeks of June and being the last team standing in there at the end. That's what these kids have worked for from the jump. So the reality is everybody left playing is good. Everybody left playing is deserving to be playing. There's probably 5 to 7 teams at home right now that could go make a run at this thing. I think of UConn, I think of Virginia, I think of some of these schools that I know how good they are, and they're not playing in this tournament. So realistically, the mission doesn't change, the mindset doesn't change. It's do we do it at home? Do we do it on the road? And we can talk about we should have done this, we should have hosted, we should have done it. The reality is we're not. And so for us, it's put our attention on the work that needs to be done. And we need to, after this weekend, we need to be one of the last 16 teams standing. And then after the next weekend, we need to be one of the last 8 teams standing. And that goal doesn't change no matter where you're at. So we're gonna have a tough weekend. So I think everybody's got their opinion on the draws. Everybody's got their opinion on the matchups. But man, I'm telling you, there's 4 teams in this regional very, very capable of winning a regional. And so it's just going to be who makes the pitch, who makes the play, who gets the big hit, who gets it done. It's going to be a knockdown, drag out weekend, but we're excited for it.
Certainly are as well. Well, Coach, the deal remains the same. You continue winning. We're continue to use these interviews in the next few weeks, hopefully all the way to Omaha. But appreciate the time you've given us. Best of luck coming up at Hattiesburg. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Roll Tide. Thank you.
Heck yeah. Appreciate you, Roger. Roll Tide, baby.